The following program is a public service of Gulf Coast State College, WKGC, and Commodore Productions. And now, the Military Hour with Cary Dieter.
Good morning and welcome to Military Hour. It's been a while. I've been on a hiatus on vacation, but we have with us this morning Kelly Elrod, Team Red, White, and Blue. Kelly, welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
Glad you're here. You got that big deal going on. Tell us what's up with that.
So Team Red, White, and Blue started a third annual 2016 Old Glory Relay on 9/11. They started near Seattle, Washington, and they're basically running one flag all the way down to Tampa, Florida. The anticipated arrival date is November 11th, so they have to run 4,257 miles-ish.
How many miles?
4,257.
Wow.
And we take some detours here or there to go by schools, so the rough number is, undetermined until the end, but
Sure.
It's a long ways. So one flag all that way. We have 21 different chapters that are taking part in this. It's open for all our members and any members of the civilian population in that area to come by and run with the team.
So if they're coming through a town and somebody wants to run with them as they're coming through town, they can just kind of join up and run right along with them?
Yep, we'll have a start point and an end point for each of the days. We are on day 55, which happens to be Friday, November 4th. It's the day right before Ironman Florida here in Panama City Beach.
Right.
So our start point is going to be Harley-Davidson. They have been our biggest supporters. They have provided us with 3 fundraised minimums met for Marine Corps Marathon. So 3 of our veterans, including myself, are going up to run Marine Corps Marathon the end of October. So when we had to figure out where our start point was going to be, that was a no-brainer for us.
So you start at Harley, and you're going to go where then from Harley?
We're going to run along 98 all the way to Port St. Joe.
That's a long way.
It's a very long way.
Yeah, that's a good 30. That's about 40 miles. No, it's more than that, I think.
It's 50 miles.
50?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So honoring our nation, honoring our flag, honoring our veterans, and you yourself are a Navy veteran, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I thought I remembered that you were a Navy veteran.
I was
so thank you for your service.
Operations specialist. Did 4 years up in Norfolk, Virginia, and then came down here and got hired basically to do what I did in the Navy. So.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Continuing on.
Yeah, and you're enjoying it, of course, here in Panama City.
It's much nicer. That whole June gloom and rainy Aprils. I'm glad we don't have that many.
Going to arrive here November 4th, is that what I heard?
Yes.
And then November the 11th, Veterans Day, what's going on that day? Where will it be?
They'll have a big celebration down in Tampa, which is the Team Red, White, and Blue headquarters down in Tampa. That's called our fire base, is what they refer to it as. So they typically, in the last years, have ended up in D.C. because they ran through the center of the country.
Uh-huh.
But when you're running through Kansas and you're running through some of the remote areas, it's hard to get support and get people logistically mobilized in that area. And then you're running, but there's not a lot of visibility. So they wanted to change up the route this year. So they changed it, and they went through L.A., they went through San Diego. I think just the other day they entered into Arizona. So it's moving along. They had to add some sections where they had bike only because they had to make up time. So they biked 150 miles in one day instead of
that's a long way
running
on a bicycle.
50 miles in a day. So
yeah, that's a long ways. So that's pedaling and pumping for sure.
Yep.
Now, how long have you been involved with Team Red, White, and Blue?
Almost 3 years.
3 years.
I started out as a member from the Fort Walton chapter. There wasn't a big group here yet that I knew about, so when I found out that there was a group here in Panama City, I started coming over here and not having to drive an hour and a half to run a 5K, which was kind of nice.
Yeah. That in itself could be kind of tough and tiring on a mother of 3 children too, so time element especially.
Yep.
And you amaze me for everything that you do. A lot of people probably don't know it, but you are a go-getter. What was your last marathon that you ran? How many miles?
I ran the Rock and Roll New Orleans, 26.2 miles back in February. So this will be my second marathon, Marine Corps marathon.
That's just fantastic. I remember being young and being able to be very, very active. I don't know that I can even walk 22 now, but as far as a willing soul, yeah, I'm willing. But it surprises me how much you do. And you train hard too. From what I've seen and what I've heard, you're a go-getter. In fact, I mentioned that to some of the staff here this morning, that you're just a dynamo. You're out there and you're doing it, and that's commendable. Because it's about the cause, which we talked about. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's about that. It's not about, hey, look at me. That doesn't play into it at all. So give us the website and some of the ramifications about it. People want to join and so on and so forth.
Okay. So the national website is www.oldgloryrelay.org. Our campaign for our day, which is day 55, is at www.crowdrise.com/November-4.
Do that one more time.
I think she has it on the bottom too. www.crowdrise.com/November-4.
Okay, -4. So you can get more information there about what's going on.
If you want to join, I think it's backslash.
Yeah. Well,
oh well.
Anyway, we'll make sure we get that out there one way or another. We'll post it on the Facebook Military Hour page as well. So, what about email for contacting you? I know that you do use email with Team Red, White, and Blue.
My email address is kelly.elrod@teamrwb.org, and we have a chapter page as well. You can go to and email Panama City at teamrwb.org with any general questions. We are looking for sponsors, whether it's food, water, bananas, anything that could help out that day. We're trying to establish 5 wave stations.
That day, we're talking about the 4th here in Panama City. The 4th
like aid station wise, yeah. We're going to start at Harley-Davidson. The first runner is going to leave at 7 in the morning. We're going to have a police escort, so it'll make it a little bit safer. We're going to try to keep it under about 6 runners per leg. There's going to be 24 different legs all the way through the 50 miles.
You beat me to it. I was about to ask how many legs.
Yep. We have a document that gets emailed out to everybody when they register, and they can pick from the legs that are available. It has a general time frame on that leg of where we think the flag will be and what time you'll need to be at your position, and it'll have an exact start and stop point. When we get out past Tyndall and Port St. Joe, or out to Mexico Beach and into Port St. Joe, we'll have signs set up so you can see leg 23. I'm supposed to be right here. You look on the document what time you're supposed to be there. And we're trying to set up 5 wave stations throughout the community. So we have one right now going up at the First Baptist Church on the corner of Beck and 98. We are going to do a connected event, which involves the community, and we've approached North Bay Haven Elementary, and they're going to have all the students come out, and as we pass by, we're going to stop, and they're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, terrific.
So it's going to involve the whole school and all the teachers and anybody that can come out and isn't, having to stay behind. And then we'll continue on to try to hit the Toyota dealership is one of our stop points. It just happens to be at the end of a 2-mile leg. So we're going to go and see if they can allow us to set a tent up there. And then I think the VFW post has said something about setting up a tent at the fairgrounds. So all these stations that we're going to set up, we're going to need some support from the community, whether it be food, water, bananas. We've got some gift cards from Sam's Club already. So there's other areas on our route that are going to need some other things. The Fairfield Inn, that brand new Marriott right by the Navy base.
Yeah.
They've donated water and bananas for our station at Beach Walk. So right there by the Dollar General, we're going to have a tent there as well. That's one of our handoff points. So it's a lot of logistics.
Terrific. I was going to say logistics. Yeah, there's a lot of planning going into this for sure.
So any help from the community, we've had a really good response so far. So and just getting the word out there that this is happening is is what we're trying to do.
So you mentioned VFW. That is the VFW on Sherman Avenue. That's going to set up the stop there at the fairgrounds.
Yep, Post 2185 has said that they will set up a station there and it's not just for food and water, because the runners literally got maybe 10-15 seconds to take a break, but
right.
to have people in the community come out and knowing those times of, hey, from this time to this time, we need people to come out of their businesses and have a flag, wave them on, cheer them on.
Support.
It'll take 20 to 30 seconds. The runner goes by, you can go back to your business, but it's a long route, and when you're running 50 miles, it helps to have the community there cheering you on.
Yep, spurs you on, keeps you moving.
We have some members that have said, I want to do 5 different legs. And it's fine, fine by me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and each leg is approximately about how long? Is there a distance?
I think the shortest one is 1.7 miles, and that's the one over the Hathaway Bridge, because it's kind of slow down coming up, but then you pick up speed going down. So I think that's one of our shorter ones, but I think the max is like 2.3 miles.
2.3 for the longest.
We tried to pick safe areas to hand off.
Sure.
Team RWB is going to have a passenger van that has decals all over it, and they're going to be following the flag along. We spoke with Chief Drew Whitman, PCB Police. He's going to provide some motorcycle escorts
for safety,
along 98.
Good
and
deal.
We're in communications with Bay County Sheriffs to see if they can get us to the line. And we got to meet up with the Mexico Beach Police on the other end, and they'll hand off and escort us the rest of the way.
And you're going through Mexico Beach, going to Port St. Joe, and you're going to stop at another VFW in Port St. Joe.
Yeah, the 10069 post has said that they're going to do a dinner for us at the end. So when we get done with our portion, they're going to host us and
good deal,
and show us appreciation.
That's one of those shared or split posts. I don't like to use the word split, shared post with American Legion and VFW there in Port St. Joe. Nice facility. Get a chance going down there. Support Team RWB. These young folks are doing a wonderful work, and I just think it's terrific the way you've all come together so quickly. And correct me if I'm wrong, aren't some of your founders West Point grads?
Yes, Mike Irwin, he was an Army captain, or I think he was a captain. He decided that he needed to do something for veterans that were coming back and getting out of the service, because there wasn't a support system for a lot of people when they get out and they don't know how to transition. There's not programs established for dealing with the everyday troubles of what a veteran has to do when they're handed their DD-214.
Yeah.
It's missing that cohesion and cohesiveness. You're part of a unit, and then all of a sudden you're an individual.
Right. Yeah.
And from the day that you join the military, they kind of beat that out of you and say, no, you're a team now.
It's a unit.
So when you get out and you lose that team, that was the whole basis of why he started this.
Yeah, you get out and then you have that big, what am I going to do now?
Exactly.
What's my next mission?
Exactly.
I don't know.
So like we talked about in the previous segment, was the 3 Ps, the people, passion, and purpose. People, when they've been driven and they've had a passion for something for so long, like they did with the military, when they get out, they don't know what to do. So they have to kind of find a group where, they feel involved, they feel connected, and they have something that they can use to bring about that passion again. So RWB is about people. It's great people. You don't have to be a veteran. The whole point of getting a veteran familiar in their community and feeling welcome, it involves all the civilians in that area as well. So Team RWB allows anybody to be a member. You don't have to be a veteran. You don't have to have served. You just want to be able to embrace and help those people that need help. And a lot of times we don't necessarily do things that only involve veterans. We do a lot of community service that anybody can do. Habitat for Humanity isn't a veteran thing. It's anybody can do it, but if it's a way that our veterans can get together and give back to the community that's embracing them, we're all about that. So.
Yeah, and you see more and more now, and not every post or VSO, meaning Veteran Service Organization, VFW, AMVETS, American Legion, you go down the list. Many of those posts have public events where they want the public to come and join in and really see what it is that we do in all those organizations. And most of us are members of each one of those organizations. Mm-hmm. And all doing good work in the community. And the public, more times than not, is invited to come and participate. Whether it's an event for children, here's one that's going to come up pretty quick down at the Legion. They've been doing this for the past several years. They do their trunk or treat on the grounds in a fenced-in area for the children. Huge event. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and guess what it costs you? $0. Bring your kids down, have a good time. So there's a lot of that involvement with all the posts, all the veteran service organizations. All you got to do is come out. Look on Facebook and you'll find stuff. It's there.
And we post a weekly schedule. Some of it's activities, mm-hmm. some of it's physical activities. We do a lot of social events. We do team trivia night every Wednesday at Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. We get a lot of people that come out and haven't served but just want to sit down, have a good time, and challenge their brains a little bit. But there's a lot of things that we do that I get approached a lot. I'm not a runner. Well, I'm not a runner. That's not what we do.
I'm not even a trotter.
I run for me. I don't run for
right.
Any other reason. But I want to better myself. But you don't have to. You don't have to be a runner. We do yoga. We do other things. We do beach days. We've kayaked. We've gone skydiving. We've done pretty much everything. We've had camping outings. So we try to do everything that you can do and involve your kids.
Do you have walking?
Yes.
I can do that sometimes.
Every Tuesday we meet at the Balboa Walking Park by Al Helms, the dog park there.
Yeah.
So we have some people that come out and just bring their dogs, some people that come out and walk, some people come out and run. You can push strollers. So there's a lot of different options. You don't have to be a runner.
And that's something I noticed about when you put out your weeklies, that there is so many activities that you just pick and choose what you want to do. So, like the beach day thing, I can do that. Mm-hmm. I can do the walking, Mm-hmm. Don't know that you'd see me regularly, but sooner or later you'll see me. It'll happen. And
our yoga is more of a restorative. It's not all the moves and the flow and all that, because I don't know how to do that. But she tries to understand, some of us that do run have issues, and some of us have knee problems, some of us have hip problems, so it's more of a stretching and restorative class than it is like serious function and flow, and I wouldn't know what to do.
The yoga scares me. I've got a sister that's been involved with that for years and years and years and years, so I can't count. And I've seen her twist herself up, and it's like, oh, not me. I mean, yeah, she's limber, I guess, but
And every once in a while we'll throw in the aerial yoga, where they have the hammocks, and it's more about, stretching and balance, and not so much standing on your head and
I couldn't do that one.
Acrobats about it.
Stretching I could do, but
so it helps when members of the community understand the needs of veterans and can use their services or anything that they can do to give back. And again, my email addresses are on there if anybody has any ideas. I typically don't ever say no. And we've been growing so much that I've had to establish a Panama City Beach satellite lead and a Tyndall Air Force Base satellite lead. So you can contact me and I can get you their information, because we've had a lot of members sign up, and it's hard when you're on the outskirts to feel like something's set up and it fits your schedule. So we're trying to make more events and move things around so that we can include more people.
Now, I wasn't laughing at you a minute ago when you said, the no thing. Veterans across the board, it's almost impossible for us to say no. Because if somebody goes, hey, can you give me a hand with what? We're okay. Yeah, what are we doing? Let's go. Let's get it done. Yeah. So it's almost like we're proverbial volunteers. Even if we don't want to, we just do it. We don't complain about it. It's like, yeah, okay, let's get it done.
You get done with one thing and you're already planning the next thing. So.
Exactly. Yeah, that one sometimes can be a bit problematic with relationships, unless you're significant other is on board and likes to support too, which I'm very blessed to have that. So I'm thankful.
I hope
it
mine's
makes it
on board.
easier. Well, I hope so too, because you're a dynamo. You're always going. So
Apologies.
yeah, I'm with you. I get that. So
Since our last meeting, I think I had said we had, 105,000 members
yes,
and 181 different communities and chapters, and now that's gone up to 112,000, and there's 201 communities and chapters. I think there's 21 Oconus locations. So
wow.
this thing has really blossomed into anywhere you find a military base, there's a Team RWB.
And the organization itself is how old now? Do you know?
It's 5.5, almost 6 years old.
Explosive growth. 5.5, almost 6 years old. It's phenomenal. So, and that is a compliment to not only the leadership, but it's the troops. It's everybody that's involved in their local areas. That's what makes it happen all the way to the top. So thanks for what you're doing. It's always a pleasure and pleasant to have you come out. What's your next marathon you're going to run?
Marine Corps Marathon, October 30th up in D.C. I'm going to run with the Marines. Hopefully it doesn't rain.
You're going to run with the Marines, huh?
Yeah. It's hard to train in the rain here in Florida.
And how far is that? Yeah.
We get lightning when there's rain.
Yeah.
So
How far is that one?
26.2.
26.2. Okay, I think you may have mentioned that earlier, but I forgot the 26.2. So you're going to be sore after that one, just like the rest of them, aren't you?
Well, 5 days later we get Old Glory Relay, so I'm going to have
Well,
to...
you don't have time to be sore then. You're going to have to work it out.
Yoga.
Yeah, work through that wall.
We're going to stretch. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully I can, take that flag in my hand and at least move it 5 feet before I hear
Well,
you.
I hope I get to see you with it in your hand. And so we don't run over. One more time, give us the website again.
It's www.oldgloryrelay.org.
Yeah.
And our day is Friday, November 4th. We're going to start, I think everybody's meeting at 6:30 in the morning. We'll start at 7 a.m. The first
At
runner
Harley
will leave
Davidson.
At Harley Davidson. And we'll arrive in Port St. Joe at VFW Post 10069 at around 5 p.m. Central. I'm trying to keep everything central,
Yeah,
even
because
though
the
it's
time
East Coast.
change.
We have enough confusion
Yeah,
and
keep it on the
logistics.
central
But the night before, we get this flag from another chapter,
Right.
and they got it from another chapter.
Sure.
So we're going to welcome them at Harley Davidson on Thursday, November 3rd. Paris Janos is going to be at Harley Davidson to do a story on Old Glory Relay. And,
What time's that supposed to be, approximately?
we're going to say between 4 and 5 is when the flag should get
On
there.
the 3rd.
They have about the same distance, about 50 miles. So unless we're all speed demons and they run really fast, it could happen earlier. But so yeah, around 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time, Harley Davidson, Thursday, November 3rd. The Fort Walton chapter is going to arrive.
Good deal.
They're going to hand us that flag, and they're going to put it in this stand. And there's a big
Fabulous. Come on out and support.
afterwards.
We're going to tell everybody, come on out and support on the 4th. Come out the 3rd if you can to Harley to see the flag arrive. And then the 4th, come out of your businesses, cheer them on along the route. And what a great, great cause. Kelly, thanks again for coming out and being on Military Hour. And y'all, thanks for tuning in, everybody that watches. Hopefully we'll be here next Thursday. If I'm breathing, I'm here. Thanks.
Thanks.